Hi, and welcome to Behind the Paddle podcast with me, Porcelain Victoria.
And me, Emilyson.
Yeah.
So last episode we were discussing pegging in all its glory. We covered a little bit about the P-spot, loop positions, dildo variation, and harnesses.
Yeah.
So if you haven't gave that a listen,
Go
you're
listen.
welcome to go back and listen to that, and then we shall wait patiently.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to go listen to it. You need to go listen to like all of them, just in general. I feel.
But today we're going to do part 2.
Yeah. We are going to do part 2 of pegging.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Cool, so our first topic is double dipping. Starting off strong.
Strong in odour as well.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, so double dipping is... It's different.
Yeah.
It's very common, I feel.
I feel like it's almost a fetish, like in the way that like...
Yeah.
Or it definitely can be. I feel like it comes into the kind of like... Is it that different for like rimming, for instance? In terms of like... I know we're saying no, but I feel like it's one of them where it's like...
I feel like your tongue can only go so far.
Whereas if you're putting something longer in, you're reaching. Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think if you're putting something longer in, unless you've got a massive tongue,
Yeah.
you are touching other stuff. Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Aye, it's more. I feel like it's like something to be aware of rather than like kink shaming people, because obviously it's a thing that like
hygiene.
Yeah, totally. But you could say that about eating shit as well. For instance, like that's a whole other level on top, you know. And
yeah.
Like
that's what I specialise in, guys. Just saying. Not eating shit. No, the other bit making people eat my shit.
Yeah.
You're feeding them. I'm
like,
a feeder.
Yeah. I've totally lost my train of thought. Where was I going with this? And that it's something to be aware of, and there's pros and cons.
Yes.
As with anything.
Yeah.
But it's maybe something that people wouldn't think of, especially if they've like douched or something before that hand. They maybe think that means the way is clear.
Yeah.
But
that's another thing, the movement of something going in and out.
Yeah.
As I
bounce on the couch.
Yeah. If you're signed up to our dark fans, you can see this. But yeah, I feel like the movement of something going in and out could potentially slosh something around.
I feel like, especially if what am I trying to say? Doing that action is going to make like the muscles contract
and stuff. Yeah.
So like you're kind of sloshing everything up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you do feel like you're gonna have a poop, then something could happen, or just yeah.
Which I feel is just something that you need to like. That's always going to be a possibility, even if you prep beforehand. Like you're going into its area. Like,
exactly.
It might be there, you know.
See, could you explain what double dipping exactly is?
Yeah. So double dipping, we in this instance would mean someone putting a toy or a penis or just anything really into an anus or inserting it anally and then putting it in their mouth afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Oh, in their mouth.
Because in pegging, that's the only other hole that would be available if we're speaking strictly someone with a strap on and then a penis owner being like penetrated.
Mm-hmm.
But it's used to mean like anally to vaginally as well.
Yeah.
But in this instance, it would be anally to orally. Yeah, that's the nice one.
Yeah. I mean, in my work, I've had a few people who want to do that and don't mind it. I mean, condoms are on my toys, so like no if there is any poop or anything like that, they're not going on the toys, they're just going on the condom.
So you could take the condom off and then still simulate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's something that they're into, which I feel is like probably pretty common.
Yeah. I mean, there are people who just want to, they're fine with doing it straight out of. I found it a bit common when it comes to like force buy and things like that.
Totally.
They're absolutely okay with.
Yeah, because it's the degradation and the humiliation and like that only adds to.
Yeah.
That.
The humiliation of it and things. Yeah.
Totally.
It's yeah.
Yeah, as we've said, like there's obviously risks involved with that, but if it's between two consenting partners, that's totally fine. I think it's important to be informed on the risks, and then you're making informed choices rather than that happening and you not really being aware of the kind of potential issues that can have.
Yeah. What are the risks? Because I just know, just hygiene-wise, it can just be not so good with bacteria.
Yeah, so the big ones would be getting like almost like food poisoning, like Salmonella, E. coli, like that's the bacteria that it lives in you all the time anyway, but it's there within like in excess and shit. So if you're then ingesting that, you could essentially get like food poisoning from it.
Wow.
It's not an always thing. It's just
it could
a risk.
potentially happen. Yeah.
It's mostly just the bacteria and stuff. So it's not like it's self-poisonous or anything. It's just that it could potentially make you ill.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it would be the same double dipping because you're still taking bacteria from that area and then ingesting it, but in a much smaller amount than you would if you were actually like eating.
But
like
there's still a possibility.
But there's still a risk there.
There's risks to everything, no matter how small and like, What else is there to talk about double dipping? So that was it.
I think pretty much, yeah. Like other than speaking about it like vaginally as well.
Okay, yeah.
Potentially. I feel like that's like a different thing to this though. I don't know.
In a future episode, we'll probably talk about vagina owners and double dipping, just because this episode is about pegging.
Yeah, double dipping. It's up to you whether that's something that you want to try and explore. You've gave like an option of doing like kind of simulating that, where you put a condom on the toy, take it off afterwards, and then you're still doing the actions, but you're just doing it in a safer way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can be fun, but just be aware of the risks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. That's it. Next one.
Leakage, which we've kind of covered a little bit of.
So we covered it on the prep a little bit because we talked about
the kind of hang-ups and stuff, and like and douching as well, and that like there's things that you can do to prep for that to be avoided, but not completely.
Exactly. Not everything is 100%, which it's just life, really. And especially when it comes to anything to do with intimate play. Like,
we're human bodies, we're animals at the end of the day. Not everything's like not everything can be controlled and kept to a deadline like that's going on biologically within you.
Exactly. Exactly.
There's things that you can do to give you the most likely, like the best chances of avoiding stuff, but you shouldn't be playing in that area if you don't want to get a bit dirty. Like it's just it's just always going to be a potential, so and it's nothing to be embarrassed about at all.
No,
like,
it happens.
Yeah.
Just be aware that it might happen.
Yeah.
Like it might be embarrassing when it does happen, but hey, get over it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you'll do it again at some point. Maybe a year down the line, maybe next week.
Yeah.
But like, it'll be fine. It'll be absolutely fine.
I take it, is that something that you can prep your clients for?
Yeah, like I do tell my clients, just like if you have douche or anything like that, or give yourself an enema, there might be water.
Yeah.
There might be leakage of just poop or whatnot.
Yeah. Is that always a requirement for you doing anal play with, like?
If it's see, this is the difference between professional and lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because the clients which I get, some of them aren't aware what it is.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't aware of what an enema or douching is. And so I have to teach them. And I love my job where it comes down to like teaching and things like that. I absolutely love that aspect. Even if it is me shoving a rod up your ass and going, can you feel the water?
All part of the fun, eh?
Exactly. And so, yeah, the majority of the time I do have to teach them. And then I'm like, this is going to be messy if you do not choose to give yourself a douche or an enema or whatnot.
Yeah.
And if it is, then it's fine.
So it's an option then. You don't always. It's not like.
Oh, it's
if you
it's
want
not
to
required.
do anal. Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's not required.
But it's something you recommend.
It's something I recommend, absolutely. Like there will be like splashback and things like that, I'm sure. Potentially. Again, it's not 100% you're going to be fully clean or anything. Like, I've had clients who haven't eaten all day and they've douched at the start of the day, and then like there's a speck of shit at like the end of my strap on or something like that, and it's like, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, it's okay. I've had there's horror stories that I could say where like clients have douched but then they've had diarrhea.
Yeah, they've put too much water in. Because this is like...
Oh, it wasn't watery or anything like that.
Oh, right, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
Like it was a bit thick.
So this is something that I have read about. So like, see, we were saying about the difference between douching and enemas.
Yeah.
And douching, you're trying to stay within like the first little section.
Yeah.
And then enemas are like the rest.
Yeah.
Like further up the pipes, for a better way of putting that.
Yeah.
If you put too much water in, right, and you fill up this first section, and then you end up with some further up.
Yeah.
And then you proceed to do anal.
Yeah.
The little bit of water that's left in, that's went round like the U-bend essentially.
Yeah.
Is then getting contracted with the muscles and with the shit that's in there and like slurrying it basically, which is probably what's happened with that client.
That's the word, Nick Flurry. Flurry it.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, and that went everywhere.
Yeah.
And like, there's been times where we've done an enema and not all the waters went out, and I've like pulled out this giant knob of a dildo out this guy's ass, and it went as like a fucking tsunami.
Yeah.
And I'm just like this. Oh.
So, anybody out there wanting to try anal, even in a professional setting, these things happen.
Exactly.
And they're expected and not judged and are just part of exploring in that area.
Yeah, like I will judge you if you're an asshole and you purposely haven't douched. Because there are guys like that who will
want to do messy play. Is that what you mean?
But no. Messy
Sorry.
play is different because that makes it sound like there's consent.
That's what I mean. They want, but they've not told you about it.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah, because there's guys out there who will purposely not douche, and once you penetrate them, you just get a waft of shit, and you see all the shit and everything, and they do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Because there's many reasons why they could do it. They might like messy play. They might think it's gonna humiliate me or put me off or something like that. And it's like, nah, mate. I shove my own shit into people's mouths. Like, I'm okay dealing with your shit, if I'm honest.
Yeah. It's gonna take a lot to rattle you at this point.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I've made shit cupcakes. I've made stuff, and like piss gummies. Like I've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've fed a guy shit on pastries and that. Like I've done a lot. I've made shitty fudge. Like it's good.
Yeah.
No, shitty brownies, and like shit lollipops.
Shitty brownies sound better than shitty fudge for some reason. Shitty lollipops.
And like shit fruit, yeah.
Shit fruit.
Shit fruit cake.
Oh, fruit cake. I had to see like the little marzipan fruits.
It was for somebody's birthday.
They're just like that, but like it is shit. I don't know why. Leave your cookie cutter alone.
Oh my god.
Right. Well, it always ends up back on his shelf.
But yeah, there are people who, sadly, in my profession, where the clients will do it on purpose, and that is infuriating. That is the bad side of doing my job, where people do want to like sabotage the session in a way and do it without my consent.
Yeah.
Like if we've discussed, because I will happily have a session with somebody like with their own shit and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like it doesn't need to include my shit. Like that's fine as long as we've communicated and you paid for my time and things like that.
Totally.
Like,
consent is the name of the game.
Yeah, exactly. I don't wanna like again. There's clients where I'll stick my dildo in them and it'll come out messy. If you like apologise or like acknowledge that it's shitty, cool. I have more respect for you in that manner.
Yeah.
If you ignore that it's not there, less respect. I understand that it's embarrassing and everything like that. But I'm on about like major shit.
Yeah.
Like a speck of shit. A few specks of shit, that's fine. It happens. But like major like diarrhea kind of like sloppy shit on my dick, I want to force it in your mouth, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to do consent, you know.
Yeah.
Consent.
Totally.
Yeah, as long as there's respect and everything like that.
Yeah.
Peachy. Fucking peachy.
So our next topic is pain and tearing.
Oh,
Penal,
mama.
I feel, is like a massive thing on like Pornhub and stuff. Like,
yeah.
And I don't understand why that's enjoyable for people to watch, but I guess, I don't know. I think.
What exactly is it?
Penal.
Penal?
Have you never come across it?
I mean, I watch CNC, but like that's CNC.
Yeah. So.
Consent, non-consent.
Penal, I think it might come under CNC to an extent.
I can kind of see that.
And
because I've ripped a guy's asshole with CNC and he's thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
It's basically like the aim is for it to be sore.
Yeah. Feel it for days.
Like not using lube or just using spit or like that.
I guess it's just like they must be masochistic to some extent because I like getting caned.
Yeah.
And like afterwards I have these beautiful fucking bruises.
And that's enjoyable.
Exactly. You get like a little trophy at the end of it. So
it's not something I've ever came across in real life though. Like I've never met someone who's been like, yeah, that's my thing. At least on the receiving end of it. But clearly you have.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
It's actually like I would say it's a bit common.
Yeah.
That I've had guys.
And guys then.
Yeah. Yeah, because the majority of my clients are guys or and penis owners.
Yeah.
But no, CNC, they just want it rammed in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Have they got previous experience though? Like are they really at this stage in like I don't want to call it anal training, but do you know what I mean? And that's like not
their first thing.
It's not their first time. It's not because I feel like in that category at least the stuff that I have come across when people have showed me, it's been very like oh, this is their like taking their fucking anal virginity penal. Like it's got that like vibe to it. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, anything sells online. To be fair,
totally.
Especially when it's virgin and stuff like that.
Oh god.
I am very like I love how the sex industry works when it comes to advertising and what works and what doesn't work. Because if you add the word virgin to it, you'll get many more views. You really will. But yeah, I've had a good few clients where they've wanted me to destroy their asshole. Just go in, and I'm like, I need lube, otherwise the condom will rip. Like. It's your asshole, like.
Aye.
And like sometimes they'll be messy and everything like that, and like I can humiliate them over that. And
in the instances though, is it actually tearing? Like, is there blood? Is that the
blood, and it hurts after a while. Like I've got a picture of where he wanted to do CNC. And I was like, fine, cool. And it's on Fet.
Yeah.
It's on my Fet, where he's on the bed and he's like, curled up, and he's like, my asshole.
Yeah.
Like, of course that picture was like consented to as well, but like, like I've had multiple. I remember I used to have a regular a few years ago who would come in on his work break, a brickie, and anybody can have my services. It's like it's so good. It's fucking amusing to see what jobs people had and whatnot. But like, yeah, he used to come in on his break and then he would be like, destroy my asshole.
Yeah. And then go back to work afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, that's fine. And yeah, I know when I take a big shit and my asshole rips. That hurts, man.
Yeah.
I can't deal with that.
I can't. I'm not, again, no kink shaming anybody. Like, I feel like I'm quite a big masochist, but not in that way. Like, I feel like that's like.
Oh, you can tell
drawing
my
a
ass
line
and stuff.
Yeah, totally. Like, I could be purple, that's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, not in that way. I think it's like I don't know, like, me not being able to sit down, like, say you were doing, like, a caning, and then, like, not being able to sit down for, like, a couple of days or a week or whatever. That's nice.
Yeah.
But it's not, like, I don't know, like, I want to shit in peace, man.
Yeah,
like,
shitting is such a good fucking time. It is.
It's something you need to do every day, like, you know, like, it's like, I don't know,
it's
I feel...
Yeah, if you had the top 5 of the best things that you could do in a day, shitting is one of them for me. It's so good, like a nice,
it's not
easy
on my
shit.
list, to be honest. It's not on my list, but I don't want it impeded, you know? I don't want anything in the way it happening.
Exactly, just a nice shit.
Like...
It was just so nice. It's such a good shit. Like, you know, like I went up, like before the podcast, I was like, I'll be a minute, I'm just taking a shit. Like, it's glorious. It's so nice. You get a few minutes alone, you can go on like the ticky-tocky and stuff, and like, plop. Like, it's good. It's nice. It's wonderful. But if I rip it, ow.
Yeah.
No,
thanks.
I use my ass quite a bit. Because again, in the professional manner, I'm gonna have like people licking my ass and stuff. I don't want it ripped.
Yeah.
No, it needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
And like 100% like health.
Yeah.
That mate.
But yeah, each their own. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
If that's your thing, you know, a lot of people think caning or just a lot of BDSM in general is like too far.
Sports and stuff like that. Like,
so
yeah, absolutely.
As someone who it seems like regularly destroys people's assholes, what are your like top tips for doing that, and therefore things people should avoid?
What, destroy an asshole?
Yeah. What's your game plan? You're like, right, it's looking you in the eye.
It can do, and it can pulsate.
It's winking at you.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your first move?
So if you are using a condom, or like if you are like raw dogging it in the way of you're gonna have no lube, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt at both ends, both the penis and the asshole.
Yeah. Because
you need lube, and like spit isn't enough.
No.
As we've discussed in the previous episodes, spit isn't enough.
Yeah.
But if you do want to rip the asshole and
spit/no lube.
Spit/no lube.
Yeah.
Absolutely, all the way.
What's your next move?
Well, it also depends on the size of the penis as well.
Yeah.
It needs to be big enough to like make a rip and like go all full in.
So knee warm up, straight for the biggest thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can have a little bit of a warm up and then be like, kapow! Like,
right, yeah. So like ram it straight in.
Yeah. You're there to do some damage.
Yeah.
Like, talk first.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely have a debrief of what is going to happen in the war room.
Yeah.
Like, you need to talk about it. So, like, I can think of as Churchill now. We're gonna come today. No. So yeah, we need to like debrief and be like, this is gonna rip your asshole. You need to be prepared.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt while shitting, and then when you shit, it's gonna tear as well.
Yeah. So this could be weeks.
Exactly.
Months.
In healing. Yeah. It's gonna be a constant battle, and then like you could like, I would think, get like hemorrhoids and things like that, and like again cuts and scars on your ass. On your asshole just needs to be something you're aware of.
Totally.
Absolutely. Just like the health parts in that manner, that your asshole does get moist as well, So there's always
quite a
gonna
wet
be...
area. Mm-hmm.
It is. Especially if like the heavier you are, or like if you go to the gym regularly and things like that.
Yeah.
You need to definitely you can keep it powdered by like baby powder and stuff like that. That'll keep it dry for a wee bit.
I feel like
It'll clump.
it's gonna go into a paste.
Yeah.
If you're like at the gym or something.
It's a tough one
Yeah.
because there's not that many, unless you have a cloth there 24/7. There's not that many ways of like getting rid of the sweat and the moisture and things like that.
Plus, there's always the potential it's going to tear inside as well.
Yes.
Rather than it being like actual on the outside.
Absolutely. If you have another way of doing it is if you have long fingernails.
Yeah.
Even if you have...
Oh, that's just made me think of fucking one man, one jar for some reason.
Oh, God. Like, I keep my... So, the people who are watching on Dark Fans or have seen our previous YouTube clips when we were on YouTube, because we moved over to Dark Fans, I have one hand, which are stilettos, so they're nice and sharp and long, and then my other hand, it's very, very, very short. Very short.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if my nail goes past my finger, I'm cutting it. I'm, like, filing it down, because even the littlest of nail can cause a cut, and it can hurt. So, yeah, I'm definitely getting rid of that.
Yeah. So there's another one. Long nails. Yep,
long nails. Like, again, in the professional manner, I've seen many dominatrixes and sex workers who have, like, long nails, and I'm like, you're gonna cut some assholes with that, like, if you're doing anything.
Maybe that's not a service they offer.
Some of them, yeah. Like, I've seen that happen. They've put gloves on and fisted somebody, and I'm just like, that's gonna tear.
Yeah.
Multiple places, and there's gonna be blood, and it's happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure in prepping we talked about this as well with the nails and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
But again, it's a way of making tears and rips. Your nails are really fucking sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're fake or real ones, like, you have to... I mean, in the case that we're talking about, don't, like, smooth off your nails or, like, anything like that. Make them raggedy.
Yeah. It's a big hang. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, God.
Have hangnails, that's it. Make them into, like, a fucking dagger.
Cool, so we've covered what you're doing kind of leading up to, what you doing once you're in there.
One where you're exploring every fucking bit, you're touching all around it if you've got your nails.
Oh, I meant with the dildo.
Oh.
Like, what's your movements like? How are you making this like the worst not the worst experience to everybody, but
it really depends on what the person that you're penetrating wants. So you can do it slow, absolutely, and it can be a really slow tear.
Oh, a slow tear.
Yeah. And then they go, like, you can do it slowly, and then all that you could need is just one, BAM!
Like, straight in.
Yeah. And that could tear it. So yeah, you could start off being, because I've had role plays where, like, I've started off really nice.
Yeah.
And it's, oh, I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Started off slow, and then I just turned into an evil bitch.
Yeah.
The evil bitch with, like, the role play.
Yeah, of course.
What they want. How they describe what I turn into.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, you can go different ways, especially if you're using a big penis, or a bigger penis than you would usually use, or if it is your first time with anal. Then yeah, if the penis feels like fine, go bigger.
Yeah.
Because you want it to rip. Like, if you're used to taking massive dumps in the morning, like, your asshole, like, can potentially handle, like, an average dick and stuff like that. So, like, yeah. If it feels fine, go bigger. Yeah. Because it's not really going to make a dent. It could possibly, depending on how you use it.
Yeah.
But I'd suggest going bigger. If you're raw dogging it as well.
Yeah.
Without any lube, then yeah, you're gonna rip, you're gonna tear. It's gonna at least make you red and sore.
Yeah.
just from going in and out.
Yeah. So we're wanting like bigger the better, like big quick jerky movements.
Yeah.
Like try to get it all in at once.
Yeah.
Every time.
See, when somebody's breathing as well, when they breathe in, their asshole tenses.
Yeah.
But when they breathe out,
it relaxes.
It relaxes. So when somebody's breathing in,
that's
fucking get him.
Yeah.
Fucking get him. Stop him. Stop him with your dick.
Yeah.
Because that is like when they're tensing, like you'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
You'll be able to tear it. But yeah.
What about positions? Is there any positions that are better or worse? Would you say?
So with doggy, you can hold on to like the hips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can
So you've got a lot more like
leverage
control
and stuff.
Yeah.
But you're not as pressured or anything like that on your back.
Yeah.
As if you were on your back, there's a lot more pressure on your back and on your ass and stuff like that. So I would say go on your back because you're gonna feel it a lot fucking more.
Who's on their back? Sorry.
The person who I'm penetrating.
So they'd be lying down and you'd be like kneeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
You're getting the angles there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe slightly unnatural angles.
Yeah.
Just with how it would bend it. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it'd hit good spots.
Yeah. So you definitely wouldn't want them like on top because at that point they can control.
I mean, that would be I would say that's for afterwards. Maybe there's many scenes you can do because you could do afterwards where it's already been teared and you can watch them.
Yeah.
You can watch them jump up and down and see the pain in their eyes. And I'm evil sometimes.
Yeah.
So
that does sound fun to be fair.
Like that sounds hella fun. It's the same as if like you've got nipple clamps on and you're doing cowgirl.
Yeah.
And somebody's tugging on them. Like it's the facial expressions and knowing what the other person could be feeling and stuff. The power dynamics.
Yeah.
It's so good. But yeah, you could do it afterwards.
Yeah.
Or if it was a big cock and
you could get them to sit on the other side of the room.
I know. But like, yeah, and like if they haven't sat on it, you could watch them sit on it and watch them tear their own asshole. And like
so they have to like sit straight down.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
They're in control of it.
Yeah.
You're just laying there.
They've done it to themselves.
Exactly. So there's so many different fucking scenes that you could do, and it's so fun and so evil and like so good, so good.
So, to just kind of reiterate and go over what we've covered, if you do not want this to happen,
don't do any of this.
Don't do any of this. Use lube.
Yeah.
Use appropriately sized toys for where you're at in your journey.
Yeah, train it.
Start small. Start with clipped fingers.
Yep.
Or a toy, and a small toy, not rather than like a dildo. And
make sure the toy's like soft or medium.
Yeah, you don't want something too rigid.
Exactly, unless you want to rip and hurt your insides.
Or that's curved. Because some solid curved things are fine. But
sometimes they're too hard as well.
They can be too hard, yeah. I think if you're a beginner and you're starting out, softer's better until you get to know your own body or your partner's body or whatever.
Exactly.
Positions, do not like ram things straight in, people. Take it little bit by little bit, make sure everything's coated in lube.
Yeah, it does not matter if you use like a full fucking bottle of lube, it is fine, it is okay, you can buy another bottle.
Yeah. They're like £3, you know. Don't be stingy.
Exactly.
It's no worth not being able to shit right for weeks / months potentially.
Exactly.
Unless that's what you're into, fair play. But if you're no,
like the majority of the time you're there to like enjoy yourself and stuff like that.
And the person being penetrated going on top's a good idea, I would say at the beginning, because it means that they can they can control
like
and they
style.
can feel. No, them going on top. So them like lowering themselves onto the toy.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Because then they can get a better
There's
feel.
so many positions.
I know, it's great. Like where they're at with that.
Exactly, and they can take it at their own pace.
Exactly.
Because, for instance, when I do anal, it's like slowly pop it in.
Yeah.
And then a few more, like, fucking stay there for a minute or two, for like the ring of fire to like stop and all that stuff. And then use me as you please and whatnot. Like, that's fine. That's fine. But like, if like you're a seasoned anal player, you might just absolutely go in there and like be a black hole. Like, that's fine.
You might be 20 seconds like 4 fists in you, like we seen at fucking Bitches Unleashed not that long ago.
Exactly.
That was less than 30 seconds, definitely. That was intense. But each to their own, you know, if that's your thing.
Exactly.
Fucking well done, mate, you're smashing it.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like they were smashing him, but... It was good.
Cool, so we've just got a couple of things left to discuss. The next one's like clear communication, which we've kind of covered a little bit as well, but just kind of... Yeah.
Just talk about it.
Talk about it during, if you're just starting out.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Don't just soldier on and leave things to the end, because it's something that...
It needs to be talked about.
It needs to be talked
about. It's very important.
Yeah.
Like, I will talk in my sessions, absolutely. Even if you're a seasoned player, I will talk to you. I really will. I love newbies. I absolutely love newbies. If, like, I do the traffic light system, so green you're enjoying it, amber not so much, and red you do not like it. Red does not mean stop. You want to stop, then you say stop. And while we're doing anal, I will say, like, what colour are you?
Yeah.
How does it feel? And, like, I've had people say, oh, like, it hurts, like, around the start of it, like, where the asshole is. And I'm like, right, okay, does it hurt if I do it fast or slow? Like, whereabouts is this?
Because you'd explore it out.
Exactly. And like sometimes they have a cut there on the inside and they don't really even realise and things. But no, every little bit, because like I'm not gonna pummel you, and then I don't want you to be like, oh, I didn't really enjoy that because like you pummeled me with your dick, and I'm like, well, you could have said something.
Yeah. But
I feel like I also have a responsibility as well.
Totally, to check in and give people clear opportunities to speak up if they need to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, communication is absolutely key, no matter in what setting.
Yeah, before, during, and after.
Yeah.
Because sometimes things can be fun in the moment and can just hit you a bit different. You know, the whole post-nut clarity.
Well,
like,
I've like been at least 8 inches deep in somebody, and then they've started crying.
Yeah.
Because they've just had a rush of emotion come across them.
Yeah. There's a lot of hormones and stuff that are releasing endorphins, and it can bring things up for people.
Exactly. Like,
and that's totally normal.
Yeah, like he had something go on that week and it really affected him, and he saw me and...
You've gave him a place to be vulnerable in.
Yeah, like it was very unexpected, him crying and that, but we cuddled and like... Yeah. And this was him as a sub. Like, I'm fine with cuddling people, especially if they fucking cry. In a professional manner, do not touch me. No, like in a non-professional manner. I'm different. In a professional manner, it's absolutely fine. Especially in like aftercare and things like that. Totally. And if something's happened, because like I've had people who have had like panic attacks and stuff like that because like they found out they didn't like gas masks or something like that. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm here. Like, it's cool. You can have a wee cuddle, or I can leave you alone, and you can have a glass of water and things like that. Like, anything can happen when something this much of an impact is happening. Yeah. Because a lot of emotions can happen. You can have flashbacks and all sorts. Totally. Like, and it can take seconds to just get out of the mood. And I'm not going to say it ruins it, but it
just changes it, and it's something that you need to flow with.
Exactly.
It just changes where the session was planned to go, but that's also fine.
Yeah.
Totally. I feel like we kind of covered that a wee bit in the last episode. We were talking about like the hang-ups and stuff, but like I feel like that's why this, like, the experience you're describing would potentially be quite common.
Yeah.
Because I feel like just with like toxic masculinity
I was about to
and
say, yeah.
like this kind of like be a man and like being
Yeah.
penetrated's not manly, and like all the people that say it's gay, which is like hilarious when it's like a woman and a man having sex in a room.
It's
no
so
matter
sexy,
what,
it's so hot.
like
But what the fuck?
way round that is why does it matter? Like
Yeah.
I don't understand. But anyway, like I think because of that, it does potentially put someone in a really vulnerable position.
Exactly. It's
Because
like,
it's testing the like where the lines are. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, because I think in part 1 maybe of preparing, I discussed that I had a client recently who was like talking about how it was gay and stuff, and I was penetrating him. And I was, what the fuck?
But I feel like you get a lot of people that like enjoy forced by, and like that's quite a lot of like, I feel like that feeds into that quite well, like in a fetish way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than it being the act itself, like that's how they have chosen to view it.
Well, this particular person I'm not seeing again.
Yeah.
Because of the way he acted.
Yeah.
And the way he viewed things, because it was very clear that no matter what I said, he wasn't going to change his mind or see it the way I saw it.
Yeah.
Or give it a chance. Yeah, because he what was it? What did he say about submissive men? Or that they're pathetic or something like that.
I remember you telling me about that actually.
And I was like, no, actually, they're really not. Like, there is sadly a lot still of insecure masculinity and all that stuff, toxic masculinity, and it's just ridiculous. And it's like, no, man, that's like old shit. Let go.
Yeah.
I know some people grow up with it and stuff, and
We
I've
all
seen
have.
it.
You know, we're all like victims of the fucking patriarchy in that way. That like, I don't know. There's aspects of that I still like clock in myself, and the way that I view things, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, you same.
You know,
same.
It's no to even single guys out in this, because like I feel like this is something that affects us all.
Yeah.
But it's just something that it's like I don't even want to call it a standard, but that's essentially like it's a standard that I feel like men are held to, and that's why it affects them more.
Yeah.
Because they feel inferior if they're not meeting this standard, and it's really drilled into them. Whereas we're just like kind of viewing it from afar, in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's sad. It's sad
It is
in
sad.
many ways. But yeah. What's the next one? Because we can go on and on about toxic masculinity and stuff. And I've got, like, I'm sure we'll do a podcast episode mainly about it at some point.
Yeah.
Because I do have, like, a wee story about a guy who came to see me. And that was heartbreaking, bless him.
We'll do that soon, because I think that's an important one. Cool, so intoxication and anal play, just in general.
Okay, so intoxication. I wouldn't really do it under the influence of like drink or anything like that. Yeah, so I wouldn't really use alcohol or anything like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really do it on drugs.
Yeah.
Really, just
I feel like the big one with alcohol is like, because it thins your blood, it means that if you bleed, you're going to bleed a lot more. And I think
if you want to be teared,
there's quite a high probability of tearing in that area. It's
Yeah.
another risk. It's another risk to be aware of, even if you're doing everything right. All it can take is one wee slightly no cut fingernail. You know, like it's quite thin skin in that area.
Well, you're talking about thinning the blood and stuff. Poppers do the exact same.
Well, this is one of the other risks with using poppers and alcohol when you're doing anal play, is that if something does get cut, it's going to bleed a lot more than it normally would.
Yeah. Because it thins your blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which can, it's not great.
Yeah, and I think it's the same if you're on like diabetes medicine and stuff like that as well.
Does that thin your blood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, it'll be
and
the
like
same
blood
then.
thinning medicine and
Yeah,
stuff.
like
I think.
aspirin is
Yes.
blood thinning as well.
Yeah. All that needs to also be discussed
Yeah.
in the debrief and afterwards.
Any
as well.
medication that you're on.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're doing it in a professional manner as well.
Because I think what it does is it means that your blood really struggles to clot. So like if you do get a cut, it's harder for your body to like shut
Stop,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know there is one
Like a condition. I know the one you're talking
Condition,
about.
that's it, yes.
Haemophilia.
But yeah, any medical conditions, or if you're taking any medicine that actually thins your blood, talk about it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because especially if you're doing anything else, then it could be really important. Like if you're doing like electrics or needles or anything like that. Even like canings and stuff, because
you're putting your body through a thing.
Yeah.
It's important for the person that's doing that to be aware of anything that makes the act riskier.
Yeah. I know, like with poppers, thins the blood, and again we'll do an episode on it because there is quite a bit we can go over with poppers.
Yeah.
You can use them. I mean, you can use fucking anything, really. You just need to know the health risks about it.
Like, it seems like a logical step to take. Like, if someone's never done anal before and they're feeling really hung up about it, and
you want to relax.
They want to relax. They want to just like get drunk and go and do it. Like that. If that is that person's choice, that's their choice. But it's just to be aware that it does make it riskier.
Yeah.
The person doing the penetrating, if they're drunk, they're not going to be as careful. Like they're using an appendage that they can't physically feel.
Yeah.
It's gonna, if they're then drunk, they're not going to be able to like tell how they're moving things and stuff as well.
If the other person's drunk as well, one, did they actually consent?
Yeah. Aye.
Two, usually, well, for me, I go like quite numb when I drink and stuff.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. Like that's why I can do so many canings if I drink. It's so great. But like for me, numbness and whatnot. So they could not potentially feel all of it.
Yeah.
To the max.
Yeah. I feel the same with like numbing lubes and stuff, because a lot of anal lubes come with like numbing like agents in them.
Yeah.
And I don't like them. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use them, but it's just another
caution.
It's another thing to be aware of, that especially if it's someone's first time, they might not know when something feels wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're then numbing that area on top of that, or numbing it with alcohol on top of that, you're just increasing the risks.
Exactly. Yeah, so I wouldn't really drink or anything like that, because you're not all there when you drink.
Yeah.
You're not all fully there, fully present. Your reactions are slower as well. And if anything does happen, what are you going to do? Yeah,
totally. And the amount of communication we've said that this needs is not the best to be done that while you're intoxicated.
Exactly. Just like the majority of things are intimate. I wouldn't advise, especially when it comes to kink.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it under the influence of anything, really.
Obviously, you were saying about the caning, and but you're meaning like you being on the receiving end of that.
Yeah.
And that being something that you were doing with a long-term partner at the time. Yeah. And it was very like part of that dynamic.
Yeah, there was consent, and like we knew what the chat was.
Yeah. You were well aware of the risks, etc.
Exactly.
Again, if that's a route people want to go down, it's not to say like absolutely do not do this. It's just things to be aware of if that's something you plan to do. Take that into account. Put that in the pre-briefing notes, you know.
Yeah. Like I personally wouldn't do any kink, especially publicly, when it comes to being the one that is drunk, because you never know. We've seen people cane people and it's went wrong.
Yeah.
And do things and it's not good. It's not nice. It really isn't.
It makes me very uncomfortable. Like having a couple drinks, that's between you and your partner. But if you're like almost blackout drunk and you're physically harming people,
exactly,
it's hard to watch personally.
Yeah, it takes a lot for me to be uncomfortable, and that made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't really, like, you're not all there. You're really not.
You wouldn't drive drunk.
Why
they wouldn't
drunk?
Be able to drive that drunk, but they're fine harming another person physically.
Exactly.
It's not.
And it's the same with anal. You can harm somebody.
Yeah.
It's not just with canines and stuff. And yes, I'm a switch. So like and it's the same with poppers. To the extent where it's like you can use them. It's up to you. You're an individual. It's your own choice. I wouldn't use it with alcohol. There are risks with that and things, which we'll go over in a later episode about poppers. Just do your research, basically.
Yeah, totally.
Do a lot of research. And if you're using any other drug, again, do your research. I wouldn't really advise it.
No,
I think that's it.
Cool. Our last one is prostate milking.
Ooh, prostate milking. See, we're going to leave on a high rather than talk about the lovely leakage and all that stuff. We're going to talk about something else coming out. Prostate milking. Really good. Really fun.
Is that something that you get asked for by your clients?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can absolutely touch your prostate, everything like that. What exactly do you mean by prostate milking?
So, basically, the fluid within sperm, or like the fluid within semen without the sperm in it, gets stored in the prostate. That's where it gets made. So, like, by stimulating it, you can basically make someone have like a quote unquote dry orgasm, where like there's no sperm in it, but like spunk still comes in.
I'm thinking back to some of the memories of when I've had people who can do that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it just doesn't happen. It doesn't work.
This is what I mean. I think this is like the penis owner version of like squirting.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's very body dependent. It's something that a lot of people probably can do, but it's like a mind game thing. And not everybody's able to do it.
Absolutely. Like, the amount of times that I've done it, I'm just so proud.
It's like a proper accomplishment.
Yeah, because like I've done it, and like some people like they don't expect it.
Yeah.
Like I've had clients who have went, "Oh, what's this?" And I'm like, I just milked you. Let's go again. Because
they don't have like a physical orgasm, is that right? There's not like the pleasure along with it. It's just the
sometimes not. Sometimes they can.
Yeah.
The majority of the time, I would say that they can.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. So it can either be a very intense orgasm or an unusual sensation followed by fluid. So it's that's what I mean by like it's the same as squirting, where it can be like paired with an orgasm, or like it can just be a bit strange and then like the fluid comes out.
Yeah. Because like they've been happy either way about it.
Totally. It's just a new experience for what you're describing for some people.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I've just got magic fingers. But like you can do that as well if like you're fisting somebody and stuff.
Totally. Or during penetration, though that is more difficult. Because this is like that is what we mean by the P spot, is like hitting this button.
Yes.
But doing that with penetration is a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
Just because you're not directly stimulating it like you're with fingers. Like
with my fingers, curve them and you proper get there.
Yeah. You
proper get on it. You rub it like a DJ deck.
Yeah.
But no, they've been it's so happy when milking actually happens, because sometimes it doesn't, which is absolutely fine.
Totally.
Some people just can't do it.
Is this coming back to what we're talking about, like it's like a comfort level thing? I think it's like a mind game thing where people like need to relax. They need to relax and let it happen, and like it's that oxymoron, like when you try and relax you're not going to be able to. So.
Exactly. It's like anal in general, or just anything that like you're nervous about.
It takes time and patience and practice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So like don't be like embarrassed or ashamed or anything like that if like milking the prostate just doesn't happen for you.
Totally.
Like, it's okay. It's fine.
As with quite a lot of the kink stuff has originated in the medical fields.
Yeah.
As a solution to prostatitis, which is basically just like an inflamed prostate, which is something that can happen with men as they get older. And we kind of covered this before when we were discussing chastity and stuff as well. It's a thing that can happen when you don't like orgasm for a long time, because basically the fluid that is in sperm gets trapped, but like because it's made in that organ, it kind of builds up over time.
Yeah.
And this is a way to release it. potentially without sexual release, depending on the person.
Yeah.
But it has like quite a lot of actual like benefits for your body as well. Because it can like improve blood flow, improve urine flow, and can like provide like pain relief and stuff like that.
Oh,
which is interesting.
That's
So it's got like it's multifaceted. Everybody should try it.
I think if you're listening to any episodes of our podcast, try all of it.
Yeah, totally.
Every bit of it. You will,
especially dark fans.
Yeah, you'll find some stuff out. But no, yeah, prostate milking, I love it. It's so fun.
Yeah.
And you can come afterwards as well. So like if you're a one and done person, prostate done, and then you can come after it usually. So it's like double the fun in a way.
Totally.
And sometimes you can go longer with the prostate and go again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes you can only come once.
Yeah.
So like it's another like little alternative as well.
Yeah, so it's like multiple orgasms but for like penis and prostate owners.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Or just a little bit of liquid because as we read up, it can just be just a little weird sensation.
Yeah, like I've said about the squirting thing in this one already.
Yeah, but you can...
Yeah, so like as I was saying, like I think this is like the penis owner version of like squirting, where it's like for some people there's an orgasm with it. For some people it's just like a different strange sensation that can either be pleasurable or not, depending on the person. Yeah. Like paired with some fluid coming out.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I can absolutely relate to that in the way of, where, like, I've fingered and whatnot, and, like, squirted, but, like, I haven't orgasmed or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then there's been other times where I have.
See, I've never squirted an orgasm together.
Oh.
Never. I don't know that that's possible for me.
Yeah.
Or at least I've never tried it.
I don't know how it happens, honestly. I have no idea. But, like, afterwards, I'll feel like it pulsating and stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, there is, for me, like, a difference.
Yeah.
But then, if like, for me, I feel like maybe if you go again and again and again and again, then it just hypes it up. The, like, feeling of orgasming.
Like, squirting again?
Yeah.
Oh, totally, because this is how I described it to one of my friends. Like, I was saying, like, for me, squirting feels like an orgasm all the way up until the release.
Yeah, okay.
And then it changes. So, like, it feels like I'm going to sneeze and then I cough.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like, or I yawn. Do you know what I mean? Like, it gets, like...
I can understand that, I really can. Because that's sort of how I feel with, like, oral. That is exactly how I feel with oral. Yeah. Where, like, it's nice. It's
like, you get the run-up. But you never quite...
Exactly. That's where I have to go, give me my doxy.
Yeah. You have to find something to, like, push it over the edge kind of thing.
Exactly.
But for me, like, actual squirting's, like, too much of a release that I don't know that it would then... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how they two would, like... They feel like they live in different hussies, but next door to each other. Like...
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, with me... I mean, I've squirted getting fucked as well, to be fair, but it mainly works with fingers. So, like, yeah, it really depends. But, it also works with the doxy as well. But, yeah, no, it does something the majority of the time, but it doesn't feel as good as, like, the doxy or something like that. That's what I have trouble with.
It's different to, like, actual orgasm.
Yeah. Like it just like with
like they're mates, but they're not like good mates.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, like it doesn't feel like you've jumped off the cliff, if that makes any sense.
Totally.
With squirting and stuff like that, for me at least.
Like, I feel like we should do an episode on squirting, because I think, like, rather than speaking about it all just now, we'll have like a proper chat, because it would be good to look into like the science and stuff yet. Because I know that there's not been loads of research done. But there's been more the last couple of years, which I've not fully read, so yeah, that would be a good one. Cool. Other than that is us.
Yeah.
Obviously, if there's anything that you guys think we've not covered, or any follow-up questions you want to ask.
Yeah.
Email us, pop us a message on any of the social medias. Like, we'd be happy to cover
exactly
whatever you guys want, really.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a few people who have asked for certain episodes, so we do need to do that at some point.
Yeah, totally. Don't worry, guys, we have seen them. We're just we've got a backup of topics that we need to cover, so we're just kind of working through them all just now.
Exactly.
But they will be coming soon. And thank you for getting in touch. So.
Yeah, it's so lovely to see that we have so many people listening into our little wee podcast. It's so great. It's so happy. And like, I think will this be our 32nd episode or 31st?
31st. Which is
done
insane.
So many,
We've done
crazy.
a lot. We've spoke for like 31 hours.
Oh, fucking more than that, let's be honest. And that is just in the podcast.
Yeah.
Not talking about that few hours before the podcast.
And after, normally. We're still chatting away.
I mean, we've got a good amount of time to chat after this. But no, thank you so much for listening. Go follow us on Dark Fans, and if you want to tip us and support us, then you'll be able to find that on all our links.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to find like my links, and you'll be able to find Sanctuary of Sins links as well. But yeah. You want to talk about the market? Yeah,
so we have Uncensored Market. Is coming back in 2025 on the 7th of June. Our applications for traders, entertainers and workshop hosts, as well as charities and volunteers, have just opened.
Yeah.
They will be staying open until the 16th of February. So if we have anybody that's relevant to listening, pop us a message, fill in an application form. Other than that, we will be having some new events coming up this year, so watch this space. Nothing's like concrete yet, but it's lovely.
I'm just really excited because I will be at the next market. I'm very excited.
Yeah, we should definitely have like a wee behind the paddle bit or some fun.
That'd be very good. Because
the two of us will be there. So
we could have like a little box which says
like a suggestion box. Yeah, definitely.
I think that'd be good.
We'll do that, that's fine. That can even sit on our stall because like the Sanctuary Sin will have a stall there. That's
I'm
fine.
so excited.
Jason was doing good like plug in all the everything, including the podcast.
Nice.
So
so happy.
As always, I've got a little discount code for you guys for the sanctuaryofsin.com. If you use Behind the Paddle at checkout, you'll get 10% off any goodies you want to buy.
Yeah.
With all your Christmas money. Go for it.
I think that's around about it. You've got a few markets coming up.
I've got a very busy February. Very busy February.
My February's a little bit busy.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Both of us are going back to Gainarchy Gathering.
I know, I'm so excited.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I'm so excited. So freaking excited. I cannot wait. So excited. But yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.